Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. I'm excited about this one. Hey, I'm just real full off this one today, man. I'm full, real full. Had to pull myself together. And I got my little box of tissue around here just in case I get overwhelmed again, man. What's going on? Shout out to everybody coming on in. I just thank everybody for joining. This is part 3 of a 4-part series. If you haven't checked them out, let's part 1, the backstory, restoration of a Hebrew nation. Go on the channel and check that out. Part 1 of 4. I didn't go through all of the kings, but I started with Hezekiah. All right. Then part 2, we have my brother, Yaisha Marab, better known as Black Tastic. I tear his last name up every time. He probably laughing at me. Better known as Black Tastic, right? Word on the street from the prophets, right? Yah will send prophets to the nations, and they weren't feeling it because they wanted to do what they wanted to do in their flesh, right? But that was a powerful show, and now we're doing this one right here. Subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell. Let's. I'm gonna put some stuff in the comment section. Shalom, salama. Good to see you. LC, the prodigal son, salama. You know, we're not gonna wait. We're gonna go right into it, but I'm gonna put the tags in here. I'm gonna put the Elephant Man Podcast. Somebody is calling me right now. They know I got doing something. So I'm gonna put the tag in there. All right. Go on there. We're gonna be chopping it up. We'll be having a good dialogue, good discussion. Right now, it's just pretty much pictures, but we're gonna get in there. The webs, the YouTube, put that in there as well. All right, put that in there. And IG, Instagram, put the Instagram in there. I got Twitter too, but I don't like Twitter, man. I never liked Twitter since its inception, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I never really cared for Twitter. But matter of fact, let's share this page real quick before I go right into it. Yeah, man, I was real excited, man. A minute ago, I was overwhelmed. I had what me and my wife call a visitation from the Ruach, Tata and Zombie for sure. Let's go right here. Oh, that's the Teo page. Shout out to Teo Ministry. Let's shout out to all my brothers and sisters. Shout out to Teo Ministry. Shout out to Ron Shields, Kingdom Harbor Ministries. Right? I'm gonna put this right here. Page look like this. So going on in there and you know, come on in the room and we're gonna have a good time, y'all. Shout out to Ron Shields, Kingdom Harbor Ministries. Shout out to Teo Ministry. Shout out to Dante Fortune. Shout out to Bishop Blakely. Shout out to Brother Rob, Elder Rob Sanders. Shout out to my wife again. Shout out to Elder Blakely. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do a dedication show. I'm just gonna give tribute to all my brothers and sisters. Shout out to Rose Tyler. He over there reading the book of Jasher. That's pretty heat. Shout out to the God Help Him See. Somebody is calling me again from Texas. Hold on now. Shout out to Zadok, the God Help Him See. Shout out to Sister E. You feel what I'm saying? But we're gonna get right into this, man. I gotta share this information. It's not that. It's a blessing. Rumaha, Paleo Hebrew. Praise Yah. Thank you. Bless you all. If you haven't checked out the other parts, you need to check it out. Oh, and I'm gonna do a spoiler alert for part 4. We got my sister coming on Friday for the spoiler alert for part 4 of this restoration of a Hebrew nation series. I ain't gonna tell y'all it's Shonda at Lodge, but just be looking out. It's special. I ain't gonna tell y'all who it is. It's gonna be real powerful on Friday, man. 8 o'clock. We're gonna get the pop. We're gonna get it out. Okay. So let's just stop that, and then I'm gonna add what I need to add to the screen. It's very, very, man. Like I said, I had an encounter. That's what we call them. We call them encounters, man, for sure. Oh, don't share it. Oh man. Done. Present it. Here's a reba. Restoration of a Hebrew nation. In it, but not of it. Preserve the culture at all costs. Preserve the culture at all costs. So what I want to do first, and I shared that first. I'm sorry, guys. Stop sharing that. And I want to share this map so we can track and see what's going on with everything. The map. I'm the map. Shout out Candace Love. I'm the map. I just opened it up. Right here. Boom. So this is my map, right? I got the Israel and Judah. If y'all want this map, just email me. Elephant Man 050 not 050 at gmail.com. All right. So this is telling about all the timelines, right? Let me see. Y'all can see in that. Okay, I'm trying to make that a little bit bigger. All right. So it got everybody in here. What's going on? It tell you when the prophets, when they was alive and all of that. So we started right here at Ahaza, right? And we worked our way. See, Manasseh, that was interesting. That's in part 1. Very, very interesting. He put up groves. He did a lot of stuff. And he did what was evil in the sight of the Most High. Most High said, all right, Assyria, y'all come get him. You know what I'm saying? He'll let your enemy just come take you, overtake you. So then he came to his way. He came to us like the prodigal son. He repented. Was like, oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. God said, okay, let him go. He went back to Jerusalem, and he was like, you know what? We're going to tear down all of these different groves and altars and all of this stuff to the unknown gods. And the people just said, let's just reclassify it. Let's leave the groves and altars up, and let's just reclassify it as something else, right? So there's a reclassification. They still didn't take him down. But he was one of the main reasons, even though he repented, why they're going into it. So we right here, Zedekiah, the last king. These purple lines right here is the captivity, 70-year period. You see, Daniel was a young man. He lived all the way through the captivity and then when we got out. Okay, so we in the captivity right now. All right, so just wanted to show y'all where we was at. These are the prophets that was alive during then. Nahum, Zephaniah, Habakkuk, Obadiah. And Ezekiel died in the captivity because he was older. And then Jeremiah died right at the beginning of the captivity, if that makes sense. All right, so let's get out of there and get into the presentation. All right, let's go right to it. Boom. All right. I want to make sure I'm seeing myself and okay, I can see it. All right. I'm not gonna be able to see the comments and stuff yet till I get my mod game together. but I'll get the comments. I'll be going back and forth to check out the comments. All right. In it, but not of it. Preserve the culture at all costs. So by this time, let's go right into it, right? Assimilate. I want to get into this word first, assimilate. Okay. In it, but not of it. Okay, assimilate. These are just words of dictionary.com. To take in information, ideas, or culture. Interesting, they put that. And understand fully. To absorb into the cultural traditions of a population or group. Synonyms to assimilate is merge, digest, take in, absorb. This is something I got offline. The longer the immigrants live in the U.S., the more they become us. It's interesting, right? In it, but not of it, okay? Cultural assimilation. In the process by which a person or a group's language or culture come to resemble those of another group. Cultural assimilation, then this is the example that they gave. I thought it was very interesting. Cultural assimilation would be during the Spanish Inquisition when Jews, I put Hebrews, and Muslims accepted the Roman Catholic Church as their religion. Meanwhile, in private, many people still practicing their own traditions, right? Imperialism versus colonialism. They're very, very close, right? I just wanted to just look up the word imperialism and colonialism. Imperialism, a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. Like they just roll in on you like, yeah, we're taking over your stuff. Colonization, the action, the process of settling among and establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. We know about colonization, right? New Zealand know about colonization. The island of Hawaii know about colonization. Colonized, subject to the rule of another country. So in colonization, what I'm figuring out is they don't really lock you up or cart you away, or sometimes they might wipe you out, they might kill you. But a lot of times they just say, look, y'all can stay. Y'all can continue doing what y'all doing, but just know this: what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine from here on out, right? Because who got the gold rules? That's the golden rule. We got our golden rule is who got the gold rules, and we got guns too. Y'all got spears, so continue doing what y'all doing. All of the goods, the service, the products that y'all doing, that's mine now. All right, so continue to do what you're doing. You're doing such a great job, but just know that you digging wells, you ain't gonna be able to use, and building houses you ain't gonna be able to live in. That's pretty much a colonization. They let the indigenous people stay there, but they rule over it, and they put their culture and their influence on it, and then they use military force. All right. 2 Kings 25. Now this is King Zedekiah. If you remember the last King Zedekiah, we about to go into Babylon now. And it came to pass, 2 Kings 25, 1-3. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month of the 10th day of the month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his hosts, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it. And they built forts against it round about. And the city was besieged until the 11th year of the king Zedekiah. And in the 9th day of the 4th month, famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people in the land. But God already said, man, you know what? Y'all going into captivity, right? And if you watch the last series, how Hezekiah and Jeremiah was going back and forth. Jeremiah said, we're going into captivity, and then the other prophet was like, no, we're not going into captivity. And he prophesied and said, thus said the Lord, and the Lord didn't even tell them that they wasn't going to go into captivity. 2 Kings 25, 6-10. Zedekiah was taken to Riblah, where Nebuchadnezzar put him on trial and found him guilty. Zedekiah's sons were killed right in front of him. Oh, man. His eyes were poked out, and he was put in chains and dragged out to Babylon. Oh, man. About a month later, in Nebuchadnezzar's 19th year as king, Nebuzaradan, who was the official in charge of the guards, arrived in Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan burned down the Lord's temple, the king's palace, and every important building in the city, as well as all the houses. Oh, man. Then he ordered the Babylonian soldiers to break down the walls of Jerusalem. Crazy. This was prophesied in Amos 2 and 5. So I will send a fire of war, conquest, and destruction by the Babylonians upon Judah, and it will devour the strongholds of Jerusalem. But remember why this happened. If you remember, go back to the first one, 2 Kings 24 and 3. Surely this came upon Judah at the command of the Lord to remember them out of his sight for the sins of Manasseh, according to all he had done, and also for the innocent blood that he shed. Yeah, I don't like innocent blood shed, man. He don't like innocent blood shed. And it's funny, and I ain't gonna get on nobody's case, but it's funny how some people be, against abortion so tough, but not against police brutality, which is innocent blood shed, especially if he didn't do that. So everything shouldn't end up in, if you get put over for a tail light, everything should, you should be able to at least make it home just with a ticket. Even if they take you into custody, you made it into custody. But I digress because I don't want to make the show something else. But I just started thinking about the shedding of innocent blood, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, and the Lord would not pardon. Even though he repented, even though he got carried away in fetters to Assyria, and he repented, and Yah said, all right, you cool. You come on back, see, and let him go. See, I don't understand the autonomy of God, the power, the sovereignty, the control that Yah has. That's one thing that I have found out in this. We always say God is in control, but we don't really understand and know how much he really, really, really is in control. Like, he get mad, he say, hey, come on, get my people. He'll raise up a wicked nation that ain't even his nation and be like, come on, put these guys in. Can we wipe them out? Can we annihilate them? No, don't wipe them out. You can have them for 70, and then after 70, then you're going to have to let them go. You feel what I'm saying? And it's all leading up to, and I don't want to go ahead of the next one, the 400-year prophecy, was people always, the 400 years, 1619 to 2019 is 400 years, guys. So I don't want to go ahead of what we're doing. The king's heart is in Yah's hand. Now check out what happened to Jeremiah. I told you he went to captivity too. Jeremiah 39, 9 and 12. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the chief, Nebuzaradan, the chief executioner and the captain of the bodyguard took the rest of the people who remained in the city, along with those who deserted and surrendered to him. And the rest of the so-called, this is how it's written in the Amplified version, and the rest of the so-called better class, I guess that's middle class or high class, people who were left and carried them into exile. But Nebuzaradan, the Babylonian captain of the bodyguard, left behind in the land some of the poor people who had nothing, and gave them vineyards and fields at that time. So that's amazing, because he could have easily carted them off too, the poor people in Jerusalem. But he said, y'all can stay, y'all can work the vineyards and the fields, and it's like crazy. Automatic come up for the poor people of Israel at that time. It's crazy. Check this out. Then Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, gave orders concerning Jeremiah through Nebuzaradan, the captain of the bodyguard, saying, take him and look after him, do nothing to harm him, but rather deal with him just as he asks you. Jeremiah was a prophet. He was a prophet, prophesying in the name of the Most High. And in his days, while he was in bondage, Yah said, you know what? You ain't gonna get destroyed. Don't do no harm to him. See, I told you he's in total control, guys. He's in total control, right? This is just amazing to me. You know what I mean? Because as he was prophesying, if you read the whole book of Jeremiah, they call him a weeping prophet. The whole time he prophesying, people hating on him, people hitting him in the jaw and putting him in jail, and this crazy stuff happened to him. Then they had false prophets coming up against him. So he had a rough, God would say, go tell him this from my from my heart to them, to your mouth, to their ears. And they'd be like, man, I can't stand Jeremiah. He don't prophesy smooth things. I can't feel Jeremiah. But when it came to this, it came to pass. And I know they probably was in fetters like, he did prophesy that. He did prophesy that this is going to happen to us. So I know they had to tricked them out a little bit. Blessings from Babylon? We don't know. I'm still reading this and trying to understand this. Jeremiah 52, 31 through 34. Now it came to pass in the 37th year of the exile of Joachim, also known as Conaniah and Jeconiah, the king of Israel, evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the first year of the reign, showed favor to Joachim, the king of Judah, and brought him out of prison. He spoke kindly to him and gave him a throne above the thrones of the kings who were captive with him in Babylon. Now, some people say, oh, man, that's good. That's a blessing. That's a favor. He got called out of prison. But then he like that dude on, in my opinion, the dude on Life, he's still bound. He like the gun dude, the gun line dude. Want me to shoot him, boss? Feel what I'm saying? Joachim charged his prisoner to change his prison clothes, and he dined regularly at the king's table all the days of his life. Right? I kind of feel like, I guess, you want to be in the house, or you want to be eating well, as opposed to in prison. And his allowance, at regular allowance, was given to him. The king of Babylon, a daily portion according to his needs until his death, all the days of his life. So I'm going to research that some more. I want to figure out, why do they do that? Did they just raise him up so he can watch over the other kings? And sometimes they raise us up, give us a little status, little money. I don't know. I'm trying to say, I don't know if this is a gatekeeper move or not. Feel what I'm saying? So we will get back into that in a second. All right. Now we in Babylon, and guess what happened? I don't know if some of you guys seen Roots. I'm not telling you to see no slave movies, man. There's so many different slave movies, man. It's unreal. 12 Years a Slave and 12 Years a Slave and a Half and all this other, a whole bunch of slave movies. But I'm talking about the original slave movie when they said they changed his name from Kunta Kinte and they wanted to change his name to Toby, right? They had to erase the names because they said if my people were called by my name, they had a lot of names. Because I got the slavevoyager.org. You go on there and they tell you the ship that some of these slaves were on and their name and their origin. Some of them is like Hebu and Ibu and Taraya and Kiya. Had the YAH at the end of their names because that was they had the name of their Most High, the Most High God that they served. Some of them did. Okay. But check this out. Daniel 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. Okay, we read that. The Lord gave Joachim, the king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles of the house. And he brought them into the land of Shinar, the house of his God, and brought the articles into the treasury of his God. But that happens today. Any museum you go to, I say about 80% of them artifacts they just stole them and put them in the window and charge you to come look at them. And I didn't think about that till I got older. I'm like, man, that's an awesome shield. That's an awesome this. Some of the stuff was donated, but some of the stuff was like, what's mine is mine, what's yours is mine. Let me get that. Put it in my museum. Verse 3. And the Babylonian king of Asvan, the chief of his officials, to bring in some of the sons of Israel, including the royal, listen to this, the royal family and from the nobles. So again, going back to slavery, when we came over here in 1619, it wasn't just some people half naked with a bone in their nose, uncivilized. Then they put some clothes on us and teach us how to fish and cotton and tobacco. No, this one said the royal family. Judah is a royal family, right? And the nobles, and there was blacksmiths and there was carpenters, and they deal with wood. These were noble men and young men without blemish and handsome in appearance, the strong stock people. This is in Babylon, though. Skillful in all wisdom, endowed with intelligence and discernment. I wonder why they skillful with all wisdom, endowed with intelligence and discernment. Because they was the children of the Most High. And quick to understanding, competent to stand in the presence of the king, and able to serve in the king's palace. Look at the yellow. He also ordered Ashpenaz to teach them the literature and the language of the Chaldeans. First order of business: learn our literature, learn our culture, learn our ways, learn our language, learn our ideas. First order of business. First order of business. And the king assigned a daily ration for them from the finest food, from the wine that he drank. So in the king's eyes, this is some of the finest food, right? And they were to be educated and nourished in this way for 3 years, so that at the end of that time they were be prepared to enter for the king's service. So they had to be trained. They had to be brainwashed. I don't want to say brainwashed. What's another good word for that? They had to assimilate to the culture of the Babylonians, right? They had to understand. They had to be infused, right? They had to get rid of their way of thinking for 3 years. Eat what we eat, right? Because there wasn't a lot of pork in our diet before we got over here. But it was like, you know what? You're having to eat the entrail. You're having to eat the chitlins. And so we still eat the chitlins to this day and a lot of stuff. But we had a specific diet, right? But he said for 3 years, I'm going to educate you, right? And you're going to eat. You're going to be nourished. You're going to eat a certain way so you can be prepared to stand in front of me. And among the sons was the sons of Judah was Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So a lot of the names had this L at the end. Daniel, Michael, Gabriel, Mishael, and Isaiah, Zephaniah, Hananiah, Azariah, even though it has the I there, it's the Yah, right? The commander of the officials gave them Babylonian names. Change your name from Kuta. Your name ain't Kuta no more. Your name Toby, bro. Remember, you got to assimilate to the. We got to do something to your mind. We got to change everything about you. We're gonna strip you of your whole identity and culture because you're coming into a new place and you got to know how to act accordingly in this new place. So the commander of the officers gave them Babylonian names. Let's see, can I pronounce to you? Oh, Shadrach, Meshach. I can pronounce to you. Daniel, he's named Belshazzar. And I got written down what each one of these words mean. And I should have put it in this, but too many slides. Hananiah, his name was Shadrach. Mishael, his name was Meshach. And Azariah, they changed them to Abednego. So they changed their names, changed their diets, changed their education. That's interesting, right? But Daniel made up in his mind, I'm gonna keep it calm because I'm hosting the show. All right, keep it cool. But Daniel made up in his mind that he would not defile, taint, or dishonor himself with the king's finest food or with the wine which the king drank. So he asked the commander of the officials that he might be excused so that he would not defile himself. Wow, with the king's meat. This was the top meat in their day. This was the cream of the crop food for the Babylonians, right? And he's like, nah, man, that ain't the dietary laws that ain't what we own. He said, I don't want to taint, defile, dishonor the Most High. We got a way how we eat. And I think I'm praying to y'all now that we get back to those ways. We got a lot of white salt, white flour, white sugar, not because it's white, but I'm just saying these are bleach products. We got these preservatives so it can have a longer shelf life. But when those preservatives get enough, this is not a health class, so we're going to move on. I'm just saying. Now, God granted Daniel favor and compassion in the sight of the commander of the officials. He's still in control. He's like, look, let him do it. Right? They don't even know, y'all. He said, the king's heart is in my hand and I turn it any which way I please. I'm getting excited, so let me calm down. Verse 10, and the commander of the officials said to Daniel, I'm afraid of the Lord my king, who has prearranged your food and your drink. For why should you see your faces and look more haggard than the young men who are your own age? Then they would make me forfeit my head to the king. Basically like, bro, if you don't eat this stuff, I'm going to get my head cut off. Bro, please, don't, come on, don't, you're making it hard for me, man. I got one job, and that's for y'all to eat this food, and you talking about 11. Daniel said to the overseer, whom the commander of the officials had appointed over him, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, please test your servants for 10 days, and let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink. This transitions to vegetables, but it was the dietary laws of the Most High, which pretty much vegetables too. Then let our appearance and our appearance of our young men who eat the king's finest food be observed and compared by you, and deal with your servants in accordance with what you see. Like, let us eat the way our dietary laws is for 10 days, and let them eat the finest choices of meat. And we're going to see. We're going to compare who's going to be healthier after 10 days. So the man listened to them in this matter and tested them for 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, it seemed that they were looking better and healthier than all the young men who ate the king's finest food. Man, restoration might be the dietary laws too. It might help us with our high blood pressure. I'm just saying. It might help us with our all of the different things that we go through, our asthma. I'm just saying, our made up ADHD. I'm just saying, if we eat more carrots than hot chips, we might not be running through the classroom. But that's a stereotype. But I'm just saying, We went back. He said, man, I got a dietary law for y'all, man. You trying to put me on the bondage. I'm saying about grace through faith, blah, blah, blah. Bro, but I'm going to the doctor too. But like I said, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it a doctor. I'm just saying this is an investigation from what's going on then, right? Okay, let's look at it. So the overseer continued to withhold their fine food and the wine they were to drink, and kept giving them vegetables, kept giving them the dietary laws of the Most High. Now, this is another thing too. Well, we'll go into this. As for these 4 young men, God gave them knowledge and skill in all kinds of literature and wisdom. These guys weren't no dummy. They were smart. Daniel and also understood all kinds of visions and dreams. All kinds of visions and dreams. At the end of the time set by the king to bring all the young men in before him. What? Get out of here. The commander of the officials presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king spoke with them, and among them, not all one of them was found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Ezra and Azariah. He said, none found like that. You don't have to assimilate to the culture. Newsflash. You are the quote of Shem. Newsflash. You are set aside and set apart. Newsflash. You are in it, but not of it. Newsflash. This will be restored. Newsflash. Okay? We don't have to sell out. We don't have to sell our soul to the highest bidder. We don't have to do none of that. None of that. We submit to the Most High, follow his ways. I know y'all, we going back in the bondage. I should be free to do what I want to do. You know, we got to do what that will grace going on. But it's under investigation. So don't throw no stones at me. I'm still investigating. I'm looking at everything. You know what I'm saying? People saying grace on steroids. Got a whole bunch of laws over everybody else's head. I'm just saying. Whole bunch of laws and legislation, right? And somebody mentioned in another show, like, man, I think it was Zadok, like, man, we tripping off. Oh no, it was another brother. We tripping off at 613, and I'm not saying keep the 613, calm your nerve, but it's over 4,311 something local civic laws every day. We play Simon Says every day, every day. We play Simon Says. And if we do something wrong, it's the law. Lock them up, throw away the key. Okay, that's the law in place. Somebody else do it, and they bend it and twist it and change it. That's why that's why people be upset. Like, wait a minute, you told me this was the law of the land. You said this, I was being civil disobedient, and you gave this person the works, and you gave this person a hug and a ride to the Burger King. He shot a whole church up. Anyway, let's get back to this, man, because I'm trying not to go into that. And the king spoke, and he said there was none found like them. So they were selected and assigned to stand before the king and enter into his personal service. Yah promoted them. Yah promoted them. They didn't have to sell out. They didn't have to be no gatekeeper. They didn't have to do no funny rituals. They ain't had to sleep with no executives. Okay, I'm coming. Yeah. All these thugnificent dudes on TV, man, you'll be surprised what these guys got to do to get one of them top contracts. And I ain't gonna even go there because I'm gonna be nice today. Verse 20. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king consulted them, he found them. He found them 10 times better than all the learned magicians, enchanters, magi in his whole realm. And Daniel remained there until the first year of the reign of King Cyrus. Because, well, that's the next part. Cyrus the Persian and them came and took over and overthrown Babylon. Over Babylon. Now, this was the end of the 70-year exile of Judah, southern kingdom, in Babylonia, as foretold by Jeremiah. Okay, 10 times better. 10 times better. Because it's not information to heap upon yourself. It wasn't information to heap upon yourself. It was information from the Most High when needed. The discernment. Father Yah, increase the discernment. Increase the discernment in your people. 10 times stronger. You don't have to sell your soul. You don't have to sell out, man. We do not have to sell out at all. We follow what the Most High say. And then even when you think about, I was looking at all of the different stories in Daniel, and all of these was who's God, who's king over you, right? All of these, that's what all of these was. Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Oh, there's about the, with the statue. That's in Daniel chapter 2. I wrote them all down. We ain't gonna go through all of them, right? His magicians and sorcerers and wise people couldn't figure it out. They couldn't. But he told it. He told exactly. He said, I'm gonna tell you what you was dreaming, and you ain't even got to tell me what the details of it. Daniel chapter 3, the golden image. And really, it's the people that's hating. There was like the people that was hating, because you got a whole bunch of people like when you hear the flute, when you hear these different things, I want you to bow to the golden image. And so they all bow and they look over and they like, they ain't doing it. So they like, hey man, them guys over there ain't doing it. They worship you the God, and they worshiping another God over you. They ain't even doing it. You should make a decree, a law, a statute. They're always coming up with laws that try to suppress and bind the people of the Most High. Always coming with law. Always want to come with law. But guess what? When we submit to the will of the Most High, we become all things to all men. We won't be lawless. We won't be lawless. Nah, it's finna be a clash coming up. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know when, but it's gonna be a clash between the ways of the Most High and this world system. It's been always friction, but it's finna be a clash. It's like, man, you gonna serve our civil law, or you gonna serve that guy you ain't never seen, and then we gonna see who's who. So, and I'm not making no Peter statement like I'm gonna be. I say, yeah, help my unbelief, prepare me now, because when this showdown go down, I want to be like Daniel and them with the fiery furnace, right? Again, they made a decree, they made a law. Hey man, if you don't do this, that, and the other, we're gonna throw you in the fiery furnace. Daniel, like, guess what? Our God is able to deliver us, but guess what though? If he don't, just know he's still the Most High. They was really y'all like, oh man, they're my dudes for real. But they took time to get there. And they had wise counsel among themselves, right? Not amongst each other. Daniel couldn't have stood up by himself, right? And then Daniel was a young man when he was in there. So can you imagine the mocking and the scoffing? He trying to live by the ordinances. He was in it, but not of it. He trying to live by the ordinances and the customs and the rudiments and traditions of the Most High in the midst of Babylon kids, Babylon teens, and younger man. They dress different. They look different. They probably was getting talked about. Like, man, look at this funny looking dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to keep it real. That's how I probably was. Daniel 4 and 34. We almost done. Daniel 4 and 34. The Most High and Nebuchadnezzar reality check. Oh, man, I spelled that wrong. Going too fast. Or did I? Okay, don't worry about it. Don't look at it. Now you're going to be looking at it. Verse 32. And basically, Nebuchadnezzar got besides himself, and he just thought that, he was all of that. And y'all like, in a nutshell, he like almost had a talk that he had with Job, like, look here, man. I raise up kings. I bring down kings. I raise up kingdoms. I take down kingdoms. I allow kingdoms to do what they do, not you. And that's what's going on today. These world leaders thinking they just all of that. They think they can do whatever, making stuff to, block out the sun. And I'm like, you gonna do what? You want to block the sun so the melanated people can't get their vitamin D? You making something to block the sun. You got the HAARP thing. You know what I'm saying? To cause earthquakes and all that. But they got some technology. I know people are like, that's some conspiracy theory stuff, but I researched some of this stuff. I'm like, man, you're CERN, you're trying to open a portal to, why you want to do all this stuff, man? Be cool, worship the Most High, and live. But anyway, I'm not gonna go there. All right, so you will be driven away from mankind. This is the Most High talking to Nebuchadnezzar. And your dwelling place will be with the animals of the field. And you will be given grass to eat like the cattle. And 7 periods of a time will pass over you until you know without a doubt. Look at my green, that the Most High rules over the kingdom of mankind, and he bestows it to whomever he desires. This is in the word, guys. Verse 34 and 35. But at the end of the days, that is at the end of the 7 periods of time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raise my eyes towards heaven. We learn obedience through the things we suffer, ladies and gentlemen. We get besides ourselves, thinking we untouchable. I ain't gonna say like who. I ain't gonna say like United States of America. They probably gonna pull this. They probably gonna pull this show. We get besides ourselves, and we think we untouchable. And it's like, nah. You beside yourself, son. I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes towards heaven, and my understanding and reasoning returned to me. And I bless the Most High Yah, and I praise and honor and glory him who lives forever. Wow. His God is Marduk. He got other different gods, right? But he came to himself, right? For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, everlasting El Olam, everlasting Yah. He's everlasting Olam. And his kingdom endures from generation to generation. His kingdom is not moved from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are regarded as nothing, but he does according to his will in the hosts of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. And no one can hold back his hand or say to him, what have you done? 36. At the same time, my reasoning returned to me. So this is praise and worship and humble. He resists the proud. He gives grace to the humble, even the heathen. If the heathen come to his senses, he going to give grace to the humble. Like, you know what? So you said all of that. You on point. You right. Now, at the same time of my reasoning returned to me, I was clothed in my right mind because I got a right perspective. I got a biblical worldview of what's going on in this universe. Feel me? So that's what happens when we come to the Most High, right? We thought we was all that in a bag of chips. And then a lot of times we learn obedience through the things we suffer. And then we come to ourselves like the prodigal son, and we come, oh, wait a minute, you are the Most High. Okay, you humble now. Now I'm gonna bless you beyond measure. And for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and my splendor will return to me, and my counselors and my nobles began to seek me out. So I was reestablished in my kingdom, and still more greatness than before was added into me. Right? Reestablished into my kingdom. What is he going to do with the children of Israel? Reestablish. He said, now, in Romans, it said, now the falling away of them be the fullness of the Gentiles come in. What more would their return be but life from the dead? Oh, the depths and the riches, the mercies of and glory of God. And then Paul started praising them, right? Still before added to me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and honor the King of heaven. Excuse me. For all his works are true and faithful, and his ways are just. He talking about the Most High. He talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob right here. He not talking about Marduk. He ain't said nothing about Marduk. Marduk. That's one of them. Right? ways are his works are true and faithful, and his ways are just, and he is able to humiliate and humble those who walk in self-centered righteousness and pride. This is the amplified version. I said, wow, look at here. So I'm not gonna get into this one, but I'm gonna get into Belshazzar. All right, chapter 5. I'm gonna put chapter 5 on the beginning of why are they showing that? Okay, let me take that off. Oh, I ain't gotta stop it. It's gonna pull my picture up. So he got that revelation, but his grandson Belshazzar didn't get the revelation, right? So I'm gonna leave that one to for the part 4 with our special guest. I can't tell y'all that it's Shonda at Large on Friday. And we're gonna get it in. That's gonna be on point. But Belshazzar didn't get that revelation. You know, that's how it's just real interesting, even how the kings be like, and you know, Hezekiah did right, but then his son come behind him, and this king did evil in the sight of the Lord and didn't know the Lord and put up the groves and I'm like, man. So his grandson Belshazzar, he must have didn't know this revelation. I wondered if Nebuchadnezzar sat and had that talk with him and say, look, man, hey, look, the Most High is God, not Marduk. And he just like, whatever. Because he was having a party, and I don't want to spoil part 5. Read chapter 5, Daniel chapter 5, having a party. He said, man, you know what? They was drunk. They was having Pastor Hearn in the building. What is going on, man? Coach. So he was having a party, feeling all good, dancing and all that stuff. Man, go get some of them vessels. Go get some of them vessels that we took from Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? From Judah. And you know, we're gonna drink, we make these some pimp cups and drink out of them and do all kind of crazy stuff out of them and have a good old party. Man, they drinking. Meanie, handwriting on the wall. He look up like, oh man, what's going on with that? I don't know, but we got a person who can interpret that. And I don't want to go into it, but Daniel was basically like, look, time is up. The same time while they was doing that, they had some underground tunnels and stuff. The same time they was doing that, Persia was coming up and killed them. So I want to stop right there because I don't want to go into part 4. But Persia killed him, and Daniel already prophesied that to King Nebuchadnezzar earlier with the statue. The head of gold you see is you. The arms you see is Persia. The loins of brass you see is Greece, Alexander the Great. The legs of iron you see is Rome. And then the feet that's part iron and part clay that you see is revived Roman Empire because it's got iron in it. And then some other kingdoms, but they're not getting together. Sort of like how we at each other's neck right now. And it's not just America. It's 10 toes, so it's like the 10 nations and stuff like that. But they don't see eye to eye. They're diplomatic, but they ain't really feeling each other like that. You know what I'm saying? They might wipe each, they don't want to. They got what each other need, so they being diplomatic right now. But they look across the table and don't like each other, man. So that was already prophesied. So and then Persia was smaller. Persia wasn't as strong as Babylon. Babylon was what it was in that day. You feel what I'm saying? Persia was stronger, But God already said, "Look, 70 years up, man. I'll make a village of." That's why when he went in, that one story. I'm gonna close. It was like 10,000 men, and they was feeling good. Yeah, man, we outnumber them. We know we 1-to-1 with them. He ended up taking 300 It's not by might or by power, but it's by the Spirit. It's by His Ruach HaKodesh. It's by His way. And that's what we got to come to, guys. That's what we got to come to. We got wars. We got rumors of wars. We watch the news. They tell us what they're going to do. And we say, Mawu Yahweh. What you say? Tata and Zombie and Bantu, Mawu Yahweh and Eve. Shout out to Sister Serum Janku. Shout out to Rumahe. Right? Natalia Batya. Shout out. Love, much love. Abbott Cole in the building. Oh, Sister Shonda at large. You know what? She probably already left. We're going to go over to her channel because she's going to have who I call the chairman. She's going to have the chairman on her channel talking about regrouping and rebuilding and stuff like that. The chairman, and he did a 4-hour live last night, bro. I was like, the chairman is off the hook. The chairman is off the hook. Ron Shields, Kingdom Harbor Ministry. I call him the chairman because after I watched the Black Panther movie and how he organized and structured everything, I was like, man, that's the chairman right there. That's Ron Shields right there, putting it down, man. You know what I mean, for the kingdom. But anyway, Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Men Conversations dealing with elephants in the room. I hope you guys see them other episodes because it'll catch you up. The backstory, part 1. Part 2, Word on the Streets of the Prophets with Mr. Black Tastic, and then this one right here. So like, subscribe, share. Go to that Facebook page, man. Go to that Facebook page and join in there. I'm gonna try to send some. We're trying to build in there, man. We're trying to build in there. We're trying to share one more again. Then we're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna pray. We're gonna get up out of here. This page right here. Come on up in here. Come on in the room. We have a good time in here. So come on up in there. Matter of fact, share my post. See people in there taking the post. I don't mind. I'm gonna put it back in here again in the comments section. Go in there and sign up, man. Also, if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Not the channel, the channel. All right. Here's the channel right here. Bam. I'm gonna put that in there. Subscribe to it so we can build. All right. Put that in here too. And we're gonna close in prayer. But what I need to say, what I'm telling you guys, man, the Most High is in control for sure. The Most High is in control. If I didn't get nothing out of this lesson, I'm like the Most High is in control. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And we get all nervous and we get all, man, this bill, this, that, and the other. Man, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. Man, look, nothing happens without his hand or his permission. And he is in control. It's been some times, my wife can tell you, it's been some times, we be like, man, this is jacked up right here. We supposed to be servants of the Most High, you know. We got this and that going on. I ain't going to say what all this and that going on because you're going to be like, why are you saying my stuff on the air? I'm messing with you, Doc. Hey, my picture went out. Hold on now. Hold on. But anyway, we're going to close out in prayer. And we just bless y'all. And hopefully you join us Friday for part 4. It's going to be very, very interesting. But it's a restoration of all things. He's restoring things, man. He's really, really, really restoring things. All right. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to have Donald Martin. Like, we don't even got no subject. He just so, and this dude is brilliant. He's from Overcomers. We used to go to Overcomers Church. He used to probably still go to Overcomer Church in Indianapolis. Man, this dude, he's doing big things. He's so compassionate, man. He's for real. He's the real deal. And we just going to get on there and chop it up. I guarantee you're going to be blessed. That's tomorrow at 8. That's it. Father Yah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. Nothing happens without your hand or your permission. You said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw men unto me. We lift you up. We honor you. We adore you. There's none like you in the heavens or the earth. Father Yahweh, make the crooked places straight. Raise the valleys and lower the mountains to make an even playing field. Father Yahweh, give us a discernment. We bind any distractions, any Father Yahweh, give us the peace that passes all understanding. A lot of people lost loved ones in this season. Father Yahweh, give them the peace that passes all understanding, Father Yahweh. Comfort them, Father Yahweh, as they go transition to the new chapter and the new level and the new place. Father Yahweh, we just thank you for all the many blessings bestowed upon us. Father God, in the Yahya Shah HaMashiach's name, Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation dealing with elephants in the room. And we are out of here. Perfect.